So I want to talk about Jayden Daniels and Caleb Williams and how they compared to each other and how they looked in the first week of the NFL season. Of course, coming into every year, one of the biggest questions we all have coming in is, how good are these rookie quarterbacks actually? So many quarterbacks, even first-round guys picked number 1, 2, 3, end up busting at a somewhat high rate. But in this first week, I think we saw the first-round quarterbacks not play too great overall. I think that there were some bright spots. Jayden Daniels being, I think, probably the best rookie quarterback I saw in week 1. But I want to take a look specifically at Daniels and Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams did get the win, while Jayden Daniels didn't get the win. But I think, the Bears winning that game had zero to do with Caleb Williams as a quarterback. Absolutely zero. I would say he did more to lose the game than win the game for the Bears. They got a punt block for a touchdown. They also had that pick 6 on Will Levis, who fell to his knees, and you could tell he was upset. He knew he made a terrible mistake. Jayden Daniels loses his first game. But I think overall, just solely based on week 1, forgetting everything else, I think Jayden Daniels looked like the better quarterback. He looked more comfortable in the pocket to me. He was able to do more on the ground, which I think helped bring the Commanders' offense to life more than what we saw with the Chicago Bears. And I'll start off reading some stats here, just your typical stats. Daniels, 17 of 24, 184 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Caleb Williams, 14 of 29, 93 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. So for Caleb Williams to not even get to 100 yards in his debut is pretty bad. And he had a little on the ground, 5 carries, 15 yards. But where Jayden Daniels really impressed me was with his legs, and I think that was to be expected. He was one of the, when it comes to rushing rate in college, he was near the top. And in his first game, he had 16 carries for 88 yards and 2 touchdowns. And so what Jayden Daniels did with his legs really allowed the Commanders to consistently push the ball down the field. They ended the day with the 8th best, or Jayden Daniels had the 8th best EPA per dropback, which is expected points added. So overall, he played close to a top 10 level quarterback in week 1, just based on that stat. The Commanders' offense was 10th in EPA per play overall. So they played in the top third of offenses in Jayden Daniels' first start in the NFL. He had the 11th best passer rating at 93.1, and he was pressured at the 7th highest rate in week 1, but because of his ability to escape the pocket, he was able to make the Buccaneers pay. So overall, I really loved what I saw from Jayden Daniels. I thought that he wasn't very accurate. I think he was 21st in the NFL in week 1 in completion percentage over expected. So there were some misses he had out there. But if we compare it to Caleb Williams, 27th passer rating in the NFL, 55.7. Here's a very telling stat from the Bears game plan week 1 and what they were trying to do. 32nd in yards per attempt at 3.2. That's just not going to cut it. And so I would expect that to improve as the weeks go by. But there were so many just short passes from Caleb Williams in week 1. There were some drops by his receivers, definitely. But still, all in all, the Bears offense didn't look good. 26th in EPA per play. Williams was pressured at the 13th highest rate, and Caleb Williams was 27th in EPA per dropback compared to 8th with Jayden Daniels. So I don't think that you can tell from week 1, how quarterback's future is going to be necessarily, but just based off of week 1, there's no doubt Jayden Daniels outplayed Caleb Williams, and with the hype that Caleb Williams has had, being drafted number 1, many seeing him as a generational type talent, a guy who can make the plays like Mahomes. My question is, can he do everything else at a high level? Week 1, that answer was no. He looked a little bit just sort of off when it comes to his footwork a few times in the backfield there when he was dropping back. Didn't look insanely comfortable to me, to be honest. Jayden Daniels looked more comfortable in the Commanders' offense in the first week. And so I'm curious to watch these guys going forward. I would assume Caleb Williams gets better as the weeks go on because, as I mentioned, rookie quarterbacks typically don't play well week 1. So this isn't to say that Jayden Daniels is going to have a better career than Caleb Williams. I just think that it's pretty clear that week 1, Jayden Daniels played at a much higher level. And if I was a Commanders fan, I'd be pretty excited. If I was a Bears fan, I would still be cautiously optimistic just because of how good Caleb Williams is in his athleticism, his ability to throw the ball. I think we saw some of that in his week 1 performance. But I would be slightly concerned because the Bears offense, it looked pretty ugly. in their first game of the season. So those are my thoughts on those two players. If you want more NFL content, you can subscribe to the channel down below. And also feel free to follow me on Twitter at LukeBeller3. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.